Hello, welcome. Intuition is calling. Please answer or text back. Thank you. Thank you for deciding to choose this course. I am excited to co-create with you. Intuition, what do you think about intuition? Did intuition communicate with you? Is that why you chose this course? That's something to think about, right? Like, did you just have a knowing? Like, there's something about this that could really be of value to me, a real contribution to me. Or maybe you just had this like, hey, maybe it would like help if I had better communication with my intuition or my guides or my higher multidimensional self. Maybe I could get more clearer information. Maybe it would be easier for me to upgrade my style of communicating. Maybe you want to receive more, maybe you want to understand more, maybe you want to hear more, maybe you want to just dialogue, maybe you want more clear information when you have questions and get information resources on options on what to do, and that's why you have these questions. So we are going to be discussing all of that in Intuition is Calling. Please answer or text back. First of all, you have a PDF, and so what we're going to do is look at the PDF. If you don't have ability to print it up or look at it, I'll just walk you through it. Our first step is let's get clarity on what is intuition to you. Do you believe in intuition? Do you believe we have an ability to communicate with a source, a stream of intelligence? Do you believe there's intelligence flowing? There's a field, a space of intelligence that can connect and communicate with you. What are your beliefs? Maybe you're skeptical. Maybe you do not believe in communication or connection with angels or guides or multidimensional self. And there's no judgment in that. If you're a skeptical person, if you're a cautious person who doesn't just believe other people's experiences, that is a benefit. There's nothing wrong with being skeptical and cautious. Our goal is not to change. My goal is not to change your beliefs. My goal is to introduce new ideas, new concepts for you to consider, for you to ponder, and ultimately your choice, your beliefs, right? You get to choose what you believe or you don't believe in. It's always your choice, your beliefs. So let's get clear. What are your beliefs? Do you believe communication with a non-physical being is possible? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. So what we do know about communication on our planet, we have the ability to communicate with another individual because we share similar language. So most of us, in this example, I'm speaking English, and most of the people listening understand the English language. So you're able to receive and understand the information that I'm presenting, the words that I'm sharing. They're able to land in your field because you know this language. Now, what if I was speaking a language you do not know? Maybe I am speaking French and you do not know French. Would that make my words, would that make my information, would that make the language not real? Would the communication not be real because you personally don't understand it? And I bring that up as an illustration because often humans, when we don't understand something, we dismiss it or we discredit it or we bypass it because we don't understand how it works. Therefore, we can have the conclusion that it must not be real. But just because you might not understand the language that I'm speaking, would that make this conversation null and void? No, I'm still presenting the information. It's just not landing in your field if you don't understand the English language. So that's what we want to look at today. Let's look at, can you communicate? Can you have an exchange with infinite intelligence even if you don't understand it? Is that possible? And one of the things when we look at our beliefs, so for example, maybe one of the things you wrote down is, I've been trying to talk to my guides or angels for months now or years now, and I've never heard anything, so it must not be real. Right? Maybe that's your conclusion. So what we want to do when we write our beliefs about communication, right? Can you communicate with angels, guides, intuition? Is it real? Is it possible? And then when you write down these beliefs that you have, then we want to look at these beliefs and we want to question them and say, is that really true? Is that fully true? Could there be something that's more true? So for example, if I've been trying to communicate with my angels or guides for the last several months and I've never heard anything, I've never gotten any feedback, I don't have any stories that I can tell you of how it worked for me, can I dismiss it and say that it's not real? Sure, I can have that belief, and I can also have the thought, the question that so far it hasn't shown up for me, and I am open, receptive, and available to try some other ways. Maybe there's information that I just do not understand, and maybe there are more resources and tools that could be of service to me. So maybe I don't want to have the conclusion that it's not real because I haven't resourced all of the different resources that are available. So let's look at your beliefs. And then what we want to do, why would you like, so obviously you're here because you're questioning your beliefs, and most likely you're here because you would like to have a better relationship with your intuition, a better relationship with your communication with your guides or higher self. And so what we want to do now is also write down what are your reasons that you would like to improve your ability to communicate with your guides or angels? What are you hoping to get from it? What benefit could there be to having a connection with your multidimensional self? And write down your list of why you would like this, why you are searching for this. And the first thing I want to talk about, if you've downloaded the book, so you're receiving the book, and in the beginning we talk about a key to inward cognition, intuition. And I really like this story because it's so practical. It tells us the story of a gentleman who gets a hawk, and he is a cautious person who does not believe, right? He does not believe in the woo-woo, airy-fairy, right? But this is a skeptical, cautious person who has an unexpected experience of connection with an animal, a hawk. And first of all, he starts to feel like his body is feeling something with this connection. And then when you read the story, you'll notice he starts to eye gaze with this animal. He starts to eye gaze, and he starts to feel something when he's eye gazing. He's starting to feel a connection, a communication, and then dreams start to happen. And he starts receiving information in dream time about this animal. And so even though he's not a hawk, he's not an animal, he does not animal speak, so to say, he is developing a connection and a communication with this animal. And because of this connection, this communication, he is getting information that this animal would like to be set free. And he makes choices based on this communication, and he sets this animal free. And he actually has a heart opening or a multidimensional opening experience as a result of his interaction with this animal, with this hawk. And so how often do people get a multidimensional experience, get a heart opening experience, get a aha about some new information through the connections with animals? Has that happened to you? Do you have any stories of animals that have communicated with you. And many people could dismiss it, right? Many people could say, no, that's not real. Animals can't communicate. But if you've personally experienced communication with an animal, if you've personally had that connection with an animal, maybe that telepathic, like you just know things, you just understand things, you can see, you understand their gesture or their sounds that are coming from their mouth. You know, when you get close to an animal, you can, if you have, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know how when you have a baby, they say the caregivers, they understand the different cries, right? So the baby's not speaking the English communication language, right? But the baby has different types of cries for different types of needs. Likewise, people that can communicate with animals or who are close to their animals can often know what that animal is requesting or needing based on their sounds. Like if you think of a dog, for example, I was friends with this gentleman, and his dog, if he had to go to the bathroom, he had one type of bark. And this dog, if he was afraid of something, if there was fear, like thunderstorms, he didn't like thunderstorms, he had a different type of sound or bark. And so the owner like knew the dog. And it would be fascinating for me to observe these two, because I could observe that they are telepathically connected. Like not only could the dog make sounds that the owner understood, like the owner, like I could see them communicating, even though it might sound airy-fairy that an owner and a dog can communicate. And it might sound, right? It might sound crazy or nuts. But when you see it, when you experience it, or maybe you yourself have witnessed it, have been with an animal, and you just, you know, like, yes, this animal does not speak the English language, but communication is real and possible. And so that's what is nice about when people start to have multidimensional, I call them multidimensional experiences. To me, when someone can take something normal, right, having a pet or having an animal that you connect to, it's become normal in our culture. When you can take these normal situations and it can open you, it can help you become aware that, wow, right, like communicating with animals is a stepping stone, is a tool to help you open to your multidimensional self, to give you a resource or information to help you realize, like, wow, this is not an English-speaking person talking to an English-speaking person, but there is a connection, there is a communication happening, there is an exchange of information happening, even though it is from a human body to an animal body. One time, after I had my multidimensional awakening, I was channeling, and I would play this game that I call the guest speaker game. And I would just put myself in altered state through deep breathing, through the intentions, connection, and then I would open a door, right? I would open a door and I would see who the guest speaker is, and I would always have the intention that I could receive information that would be of value or of contribution to me. So I would ask the question, like, who or what consciousness has something to share with me that would be of service to me, that would be of benefit to me. And this is a game I like to play every day. And so I would play this game, and one day who showed up, the consciousness of animal consciousness showed up. And the animal consciousness showed me how animals are helping humans become multidimensional. And they showed me how, like, back, like even when I was younger, animals in my reality were treated as not as valuable as humans, right? Humans were superior, right? Like on the hierarchy scale, humans were superior. Animals were like way less superior. They didn't have equal value to the human life. That's how I was raised. Well, over the years, pets have become really popular. And not only have pets really become significant, we see like all of the business around pets. Now there are birthday parties for pets. There are pet hotels, right? So if you need to go away, you can let your pet go into a hotel, right? Now they have videos that the pet daycares, like even like I know people that take their pets to a daycare when they go to work. Like you would drop off your child when you went to work. People are doing that with their pets. And it's normalizing how valuable, how significant the animal consciousness is. And so during this download, during this channeling, the animal consciousness told me I got to experience animals are a gift to humans because they're helping many humans open up to their multidimensional self, recognizing that you can be connected to another being that does not have a human body. Right? And so probably most everyone listening to this call, you yourself have a connection to an animal, or you know someone that has a connection to an animal, and it is real. That animal is a real friend. That animal is a true friend. And so I really liked it when I got this message, and this message maybe came in like 2011, 2012. And I could really see how like animals are such a gift to humans. And for me, I no longer think that the human is superior to the animal consciousness. I have a belief that everything is alive, that all consciousness is alive, and it is all equally valuable. It is all equally significant. And this is one thing, though, that it did help me. It did help me to think a new way. It did help me to expand, to evolve, to grow in my evolution as I started to realize if humans can have this connection to an animal, a different species, animals are different species, can I also have a connection to another species that is not a human? Is it possible, right? And so for me, I started having communication connection with other consciousnesses that do not have a human form. And that is something that landed for me. That is something that me and my knowing, my intuition, my body, I hold the knowing that communication with other consciousness is real and valid and can be a contribution to me. So we want to look at, what are your beliefs? What are your beliefs about connecting with angels, guides, your multidimensional self? Are those beliefs serving you? And we're not asking you to change your belief right now. We're just asking you to discover what are your beliefs, and would you like to challenge some of your beliefs? Would you like to be given information that can help you evolve in some of your beliefs? And then look at why. What is your reason for wanting better communication, clearer communication with your multidimensional self, with your angels, with your guides? So that is the work for today. Intuition is calling. Please answer or text back. I look forward to visiting with you on the next time.